Hello and welcome back to Confessions of a Gamer Girl podcast. I'm your host, Doomcutie, and I have our lovely co-hosts, Liessshy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another week.
Excellent. And we also have Ellie.
Hello, hello.
And this week we have a very special guest, Haughty Chicken. How are you? How have you been? Tell everyone what you've been up to and where they can find you.
Oh, they can just search Haughty Chicken. I'd be very surprised if there are other Haughty Chickens. And if I ever find them, I pick them up pretty quickly. So really, wherever you are, look for Haughty Chicken. You'll find me. Not so much on TikTok. We haven't quite made friends yet, but everywhere else, you'll find me. Mainly on Twitch.
You know what?
But I'm good.
I think you do very well on TikTok.
I keep thinking there's very little really in there.
Yes, definitely. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us. It's a real honor to have you on. So thank you for saying yes.
Thank you.
Excellent. This week is a different kind of week. You will notice that I'm actually not in my setup. I'm not even at home. I'm about 3 hours away from my home. I'm actually at the Hen House recording studios in Perth. And the reason for that is because I am attending the Pixel Expo as part of the Well Played team. As part of their media team. So it'll be a really interesting experience to go there after the podcast, and I think Haughty Chicken will be joining me.
I'll be there. As soon as we finish, we're heading into the city. And by the way, I love the fact that that's called the Hen House. How perfect.
It's very fitting.
It really is. Actually, you know what? I didn't make that link into right now, so thank you for that.
$5 for every chicken hen house coop joke because of my name. You know, people say, "Oh God, that name."
I have FOMO. I wish we were in Perth, Ellie. We got to go.
I know.
One day.
That's okay. We'll have plenty of time to hang out at PAX. I don't know. Do we tell them? I don't know. Maybe we'll save it for later.
Oh, we'll stay tuned.
Later. Okay. Yeah,
stay tuned for PAX news. Haughty Chicken, I do have to ask, where did your name come from?
So when I was thinking about using social media for the first time a few years ago, not too long ago, I wanted a name that wasn't my own personal name. I like to separate, gaming and content, what have you. And I was looking at avatars and different pictures, and I couldn't think of a name. And I saw this image of a chicken with a monocle, and he was in a suit, and he looked amazing. And I actually thought he looks pretty, haughty. So it's not a common word, but I knew the word. And I thought he's a very haughty chicken. And I thought that is such an opposite sort of. I'm anything but haughty. I'm such a chill sort of person. And I thought I'm going to call my name, my Twitter account, Haughty Chicken. And I don't know what I was going to use it for, but I put it aside and I thought that'd be great. And then the pandemic hit, and a friend of mine said, "You should stream." And I said, "Oh, no, that's never going to happen." And then I thought, wait a minute. I'll just try it. And I thought, what am I going to call myself over there? And so I thought, I'll try Haughty Chicken. People will either really love it or they'll just think it's silly. And people really love it. So that's pretty much how it is. I couldn't use the image of the chicken because it was, someone's artwork. But the name I used because I made it up.
So good. And it's honestly just a trademark for you. Like, we
much.
know who you are from that name.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I didn't put my bow on this morning. I'm a bit lax. But, yeah, usually it's either Haughty Chicken or the bow that I wear when I stream.
Yeah.
I didn't even know haughty was a real word, to be honest. I thought it was like a play on the word naughty. And I was like, oh, Haughty Chicken.
That does slip into conversations, and I just say that's the After Dark chicken. That's a whole other chat. He's just fronting.
Wow.
But anyway, he's talking.
We're getting some confessions already. We're not even 10 minutes in.
Not even 5
days.
But yeah, look, the brand has been a good one, and it sort of stemmed from that. And I gave a lot of thought, which is probably a whole other conversation, about what my brand would look like and whether I'd keep it clean and so on and so on. So Haughty is rather innocuous, really, and most people don't really know that it's a word, but when they realise what it is and then they think of me, they just think, that's complete opposite to her, which is good.
That's good.
Oh, well, I do love, myself being Doomcutie, I do love an opposing words next to each other. So yeah, a lot of people ask me where my name came from, and I wanted something like that as well. I wanted something that people, it was actually I started with my gamer tag, and then because I didn't want to use my real name on my like in all my gaming accounts, just when playing. So yeah, I came up. So Doom was the first game that I played, and I just I
wondered if that was why.
Yeah. So Doom was the first game I played, and I put cutie because I was like, I don't know, I've never considered myself particularly.
You're a cutie. You are a cutie.
Yeah,
adorable.
Okay. Stop. Stop. All right, moving on. So you mentioned that you started streaming in the pandemic.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So how did that come about? And was that like the first time that you ever thought about doing something like that?
Oh yeah, look, for me, streaming, I knew of streaming. I don't think you can be a gamer of any age or whatever path you're in terms of gaming, to not know what streaming was. But I always thought streaming was very much Fortnite, Ninja, Asmongold. It was very much a boys' club and sort of an age bracket and a particular game genre. And then the pandemic hit, and I was in Perth for study. We went home to Melbourne, so I'm from Melbourne, and then the pandemic hit, and I had a lot more time on my hands. And a friend of mine from university, a fellow professional, I'm a social worker by profession, he was bored, so he sent me a message to a group of friends. We're all sort of still in contact, and he said to us, "Oh, I'm streaming," and I thought, I'll go watch him. I'll see what he's playing. I think he was playing The Witcher at the time. So I went to his chat to support him. He's a lovely fellow, lovely family man. And that's when he said, "Why aren't you streaming?" And I said, "Oh, no, hell will freeze over. No one wants to see me on Twitch." And then I thought, I'm going to go and see if there's anyone my age that is streaming. And I couldn't find, I found lovely people of all ages now, but at the time I couldn't find anyone. And I couldn't find anyone in the World of Warcraft genre, which is my favorite game. And so I said to hubby, "I'm going to go live." And he said, "You're not," because I'm actually a very shy person. I'm very introverted, like really introverted. Most people don't realize that. I'm probably the most antisocial social worker you'll meet. I'm not antisocial with my clients, but my students. But and so I decided to go live. I actually have a video. One day I might put it out there of my first stream. And I was so nervous.
Amazing.
And within an hour, someone came in. I know who it is, Mikey from Minneapolis. I never forget. And then a second person came in who is still a founder and a follower of mine. He's so lovely. And that was within an hour. And I think it was 12 weeks later I made partner. And there was just this inundation of people who were looking for a very safe place. But also they were looking for a space that, for someone of my age bracket and who I represented for them, like an older person, grandmother type figure, although I don't like, and people know this, I don't like to be called grandma, actually. That's for my own grandies. But it was just a space, you know, that they could come and have someone not judge the fact that they love gaming, because I love it too. I mean, my mum plays, I talk about this often, she's 81 and she plays Rust. She's brutal, absolutely brutal.
I saw that and I was like, that can't be your mum. That must be
she's amazing, but she's amazing. Like, she'd be sitting there playing poker with the ladies she's in a retirement village, and she's like, I've got to go, the server's resetting, because they reset every month in Rust. She says, I've got to go get my weapons and and I just think, what must they think? They've got no idea. Anyway, so that, long story short, that's how I got into streaming, and it just hasn't stopped since then, really. I keep thinking it will, and every time I try and step away, there's other things. I get, you know, contacted by people, or there's a story pop up again, and you can never really step away. You can't. I don't really want to.
That's just such an amazing story. Like, you came in at just one of the best times to do something different in your life, right? And like you said, you jumped on. There was no, I guess, real representation of your on there. So you instantly had the upper hand. And honestly, like, when I first heard about you, I just became a fangirl straight away, because you just would take one look at you online, you can see how genuine you are. So you represent a really broad range of people these days, just because you're awesome. You're just an awesome gamer. And like, I'm kind of going into like, oh my God, can I get your autograph right now? Like, it's really special to have you here. You're just so inspiring. And I'm so excited to hear more about your journey in the gaming space today, because it's amazing.
Thank you. Look, I consider myself quite a normal kind of, you know, man from the burbs, really. And sometimes, like, it's hard, and this is sort of probably, I know we're going to talk about culture and I'm veering off a little bit, but sometimes in this space, it's difficult when you're growing, and this will sound strange to many people who are so keen on their growth, when you don't want to grow a certain way or in a certain area. So, for example, I got contacted by the Today Show a couple of weeks ago saying, can we interview you? And I said no. And I've told some other friends, and they said, oh, same thing. But there's growth, and then there's protecting your privacy and protecting your space. And because I wear different hats, I had to make that decision of, there's big, and then there's big enough for me.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not a full-time content creator. I teach, and I'm doing I have other things. And so balancing all of those, you know, and I think for a lot of people, they think all these positive things, or these ideals about what streaming and content creation is like. But I know that all of you will agree with me. It is hard work. It is mentally taxing, and it is. Yeah. It could go into 24/7 if you let it.
Yeah.
You know. So I know that's a whole other conversation. But you know, for me, it's been 3 years now. Balancing that, how far do I go? Which way do I go? Who are a good brand to work with? Is my brand safe with these people? It's a really big job, and it is a job. I'll challenge anyone who says that it's not, because if they think it's not, they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people, especially young people, you know, teenagers that, you know, 13, 14, 16, they think that this looks so fun to them. They get to play their favorite games. They get free stuff. They get to stream, all that kind of thing. And they don't understand that. And I think I had a conversation at PAX last year with someone, and we're talking about there's a massive gap between brands and creators. And quite frankly, and I even thought about it myself, that I'm my own booking agent. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't exist for content creators. So and the vetting process on both ends. So both from the business perspective and the content creators perspective, you don't know what brand's going to be good for you. And you don't know what and they don't know what content creator is going to be good for their brand. And this is really where marketing and is going.
Yes.
So it's a really interesting process, and especially when you have really young people entering this space, they're just going to think, and this energy supplement that they want to work with me. That's great, but do they understand the chemicals in there? Do they, you know, do they want to be promoting that kind of thing? Are they really going to be thinking about that? And you know, all sorts of people. I think,
and are they being valued? I think that's the biggest thing. You know, and we in Australia we do tend to talk about salaries and payments, but overseas not so much. And I think if content creators were aware of how little they are being paid, how little they are being valued. I'm very fortunate in that I'm now in a position where I know my worth because I know my impressions and all that sort of thing. And you need to understand that too as a growing content creator. And it is a business. You need to know what your impressions are worth and what your brand is worth, because people will take advantage of that straight away.
Totally.
So I do feel, and I don't have a manager. I'm my own manager. I'm hubbing and I'm pointing over
exactly.
Sits beside me. It's really hard.
You wear a lot of hats.
Says, how much do you want to be paid? And you think, oh God, I don't know. Well, now I know. I've worked it out. But if you're new, it's hard.
It really
and you obviously have to make a good impression with those companies, because if you do want to work with them, you obviously have to put your best foot forward, and it can be quite intimidating when discussing money, because it is quite a taboo topic. But everyone obviously deserves to be reimbursed for their efforts and their worth. So it's really fantastic that you have such a strong sense of self, that you're able to have that consciousness to say, is it going to be good for me? And here's my limit.
And you can say no. You can say no to brands. I've said no to a few things because it simply doesn't sit with me, and saying no to promotion because it doesn't sit with me at this point of time. So, but try not to burn bridges. I will say that. I mean, I've said to the people at PAX and other places, I'm hoping to be in Melbourne next year. Don't forget me. I am planning to be there next year. Yay! I finally get to my first PAX, but anyway, I know I've gone off on a tangent.
No, that's totally fine. Honestly, I love hearing about your experience of it, because you know what, when I first started, I would have said yes to anything, and that was my naivety. That was, I didn't feel self-assured as a creator, as a person, as a woman. So I would say yes to lots of different things that maybe didn't always align with me. So definitely, I think it wasn't until I think I had someone reach out to me. They wanted me to promote custom embroidered gaming chairs, and they came to me. It's a great idea, right? They could embroider your gamer tag, your logo, whatever you wanted. And then they were like, "Yeah, we invite you to be an ambassador with our company."
It's always that word.
What does that mean?
Right?
Question everything.
This was really early when I first started doing actual written reviews, and I said to them, I spoke in the group chat, and I was like, "Look at this." They said they wanted me to be an ambassador, so the ambassador had to reshare, tag, all of their content that they put out, right? And this was an Instagram account with 200 followers. I was like, all right. And then they said, and we will design you a chair, and you stream in it, you post pictures with it, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, fantastic. They sent me the link. It was really cool. You could put all different types of leathers and colors, whatever you wanted. But then they said, we're going to give you 10% off.
Not even
cheeky. Cheeky.
And I
was
said,
waiting for that other boot to drop. Is that the shoot of whatever, the saying?
10% off a $1,400 gaming chair.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. I have a gaming chair story. But I'm not. I have a gaming chair story.
So that was the first time I said no. I did counter offer them. I did say that I wasn't prepared to pay for the chair, but I would exclusively use that chair only if they did give it to me. And they said no. They came back. They spoke to their managers or whatever. And they came back to me and said no. And I was like, you know what? That's fine, and that was fine with me.
I think it's important to remember brands watch. They watch and see. I say this: don't ever assume someone isn't watching. Whether it's a development company, a gaming company, or a brand, people watch. People see. They see who's moving. They see who's tagging them. And I remember early on, I was trying to get the attention of another chair brand, And because I had some back surgery not that long ago during the pandemic, and so I was looking for a really comfy chair. So I was trying to get the attention, subtle, not subtle, tagging companies as I do sometimes. And within 2 minutes of putting this particular tweet out with my very old chair and how bad it looked, I even had hubby's work socks on the arm because it was broken, you know. This is when I first started. You work with what you've got. I always know that. Work with what you've got. So I had thick woolly socks on my arms because they were broken. Anyway, so I put this tweet out, subtle, not subtle, with my old chair and tagging this other company. And within 2 minutes, I'm going to lean over if you can see, this wonderful company slid into my DMs and said, "We got you covered." Boom, I have my chair, you know. So
amazing.
never, and then we have the best relationship, I've just got to say. You never know who's watching you as a content creator. You never know who picks up on what you offer as a brand and as a person. Never assume. I didn't know that Blizzard were in my streams, for example, being a WoW player. I didn't know they were watching. I didn't know, you know, there were, and even AMD. I wasn't even a partner yet, and AMD from California sent me a message and said, "Can we have a Zoom meeting? We love what you do." Now I'm sponsored by them. And that wasn't even, like, there's not even 3 months. So always be aware that someone can see what you're doing. I see many growing streamers, and I prefer that phrase to small streamers. I think that no one's seeing them or no one's watching. And I always say, just wait. Just keep doing what you're doing. Yep. And just wait.
Absolutely. Back yourself and believe.
I needed that the other day. I tell you, I got all up in my thoughts about the podcast and about everything, and I just...
I love your content, Doomcutie. Seriously, I said to him, "Look at this picture. Look at this woman. God, she's such a professional. Oh, my God."
Oh, thank you. I really do try to put my best foot forward in everything that I do.
Your marketing is fabulous.
Thank you. Look, I'm not as good as Liessshy over here. Her videos are incredible. And Ellie, you're hilarious. Your personality just shines. So I think we all have something amazing to give. We're all unique, and that's fantastic.
Absolutely. There's room for everybody.
Exactly. Now, I will say that the title of this episode is The Evolution of Gaming. So I really I'd love to get into, were you always a gamer, and how did you get into it? Was it
your mum? Always. No, it wasn't my mum. My mum was later. So I was, as I say, I was very quiet growing up. I'm only 2 children in my family. I have a twin sister in Melbourne. She's not a gamer at all. Very extroverted. I was the introvert. And so for me, I was one of those sort of broody teenagers, listening to music in her bedroom and so on. And then my parents got the first home computer. And so my dad would play solitaire on it, that kind of thing. And then I discovered, before that, the old tennis game on television, you know, Pong. I used to play that. I think it was called Pong. And I was looking at and so then my dad got a computer, and I played the old games where it was all text, you know, it was just text. I think they were called MUDs or something, where you're going down an alleyway.
Story adventure?
Yeah, story adventure. So I played those. And then by the time I bought my own computer in my 20s, that's when I discovered, so I had old games, and, you know, you had them on the old floppy disks. And then the smaller discs, you know. And so we had plastic containers everywhere around our home growing up with all the discs in them. And the family had a communal Atari box. I kid you not. So I was the oldest of all the. I think there's 29 grandchildren. I'm the oldest. And there was this cardboard box full of an Atari system with all the games. I wish I had it now. And we'd go around all the cousins when everyone was feeling like. So we all collectively enjoyed games. But then when I had my very first computer, I managed to save one up after I started working, and I discovered SimCity. So I discovered simulation games, and that was my absolute love. You know, I'd leave it on all night to get up and see if my city had grown and all that kind of thing. It was the place that I could just be creative and enjoy games. And so I played a lot of games, adventure games, Prince of Persia, and I also played console. So we had a console. Every new console that came out, I would save for it I had children at that stage. They would have chores that they'd need to do to earn their games. So every console that came out, I would save for. And so we've had Xboxes and Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all of those. So gaming's always been around. But then I discovered World of Warcraft. And my son was downstairs when his friends were parents were dropping them off. He'd arranged to have an afternoon with his friends downstairs, and all these monitors and towers were coming in. They're having their own little land party in there. And they're like 15, 16 years old or something. My son's in his late 30s now. And I went in. I said, "What you all doing in here?" I was feeding and giving them drinks. Lovely young people they were. They still are. And they were playing WoW. And I said, "Let me see this. Get off. Let me see it."
My turn.
They used to be. And I made my first character in WoW, which was a warlock. And that was it. I got off the seat, went down to the computer store and bought my own game of it. So that's how I got introduced to MMOs. And honestly, I have gamed every single day since I've been able to in my life. I will, and we talked about this off air, I will challenge anyone that says that gaming is not beneficial, because like everything, moderation and how you introduce things to your life is important. But gaming has been such an intrinsic part of my life, and now with streaming and content creation and meeting other people and seeing the importance that gaming can have in terms of, I'm going to get a little bit heavy here, social discourse, social narratives, and challenging some of the unhealthy social narratives, particularly against toxicity and against women and misogyny. It is we play in virtual worlds, but we've created a world around that,
Yes, exactly.
I know I've got a little bit of a tangent there too. But yeah, I've always gamed. And now there's 4 generations of us. My mother games. She has gamed now for about 3 years, actually, since, probably she games every day. I game, of course, my grandchildren game, and now my grandchildren game. And I met my husband in game, which most people know. So.
It's amazing that so many generations in your family that are coming together over gaming. That is so special. And
we can all talk the same kind of language. Like whenever there's a live, QuakeCon, or whenever there's, E3 or whatever's live, I remember BlizzCon online was a couple of years ago, and I was part of the introduction. They played me on the introduction at BlizzCon, which was huge, and I didn't know. And my son was watching it, and he rang me crying, saying, "My God, Mum, that was you." I said, "Yeah, it's pretty cool."
That's beautiful.
He would have been so proud.
Yeah, he is. They are. My daughter's a Bethesda girl. She's Fallout. She adores Fallout. My son is very much a PS5 though, so he's console. And my daughter and I PC, and Mum's PC.
Is there lots of competition within the family about who's the best gamer?
Rivalries.
I bet.
If we get together, oh my goodness me.
It's like Monopoly times 100.
Oh, it's bad. It's really bad.
Putting people in timeout.
Does that mean at Christmas time, you just automatically know what to get everyone? You just buy a game or a console.
It's all gaming things. So cool. Hubby buys me in-game mounts or skins or things that I want. My son, we normally give him something. We got him something. We got him a camera for. I'm trying to get my son into streaming, so we're getting a camera for his PS5. My daughter's usually pretty easy. If it's something Bethesda, then she's happy. So, and amazing. My mum, we sort of kind of lent her a really nice gaming laptop so she could play. So.
Oh, very
nice. And the grandkids must be very impressed to say grandma's a streamer.
Well, they're kind of little for that. My nieces and nephews, they're teenagers. They think I'm the coolest aunt ever.
Oh, you are.
I have a picture that I put out on Twitter during the pandemic, because we were in Melbourne and the lockdown went on forever. And so I couldn't see my grandchildren. And my daughter sent me a picture of one of our grandies, and I keep them very private for obvious reasons, but it was a picture of one of the grandies touching their large screen TV because I was streaming. And it broke my heart. It broke my heart.
That's beautiful.
And I still have it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
Beautiful.
I know. I might send you that picture, Doom, then you can see it. I still think
sorry. Oh, that is lovely. Oh, and what? Yeah. Oh, so special.
When it did lift the pandemic, so I have a bow that I wear on a sort of little headband, and the eldest of the grandies, so they're all wee little ones, but they've started school. They sat on my chair, held up the coffee cup. Granddad's laughing beside me, handed it to Granddad and put on my bow and said, "Haughty Chicken would like coffee, please."
That's so adorable.
Precious.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so that's story.
Oh, honestly, like, I actually incredible. You are an absolute superstar, and your whole family must be so proud of you. I know we are, and we're not even in your family, and we're proud of you.
My twin sister doesn't understand it much at all. I remember when I first told her that I was streaming, and she said, "Is that a cloud thing?" I said, "It's okay. It's okay." She's not. She understands it, but not much.
Can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
do you try and get her to game with you?
No. No, it's just totally no. That was quick. It's totally not her thing. We're very close. We're lovely friends, but gaming has just not been her thing. She understands it because she has teenagers of her own. But yeah, no, it's just not her thing. And that's cool. But other is
That's
not.
fair enough. Fair
It's
enough.
enough that my mum does. People keep saying, "Oh, invite your mum to come play with them." I'm like, no, be careful what you wish for. She's fine. I'll leave her over in Rust with her, whatever weapon she's using today.
That's great. She's high. She likes that game. She's hyperfixation.
That's the thing.
She's
too.
happy.
I mean, I tend to switch a bit in games. I'm trying Paleo now, and I'm very much sport. But
Ellie, have you put in for Paleo?
No, I haven't actually. Maybe I should.
I did the other day.
Have you? Look, they've got a few little server issues right now because they're still testing their beta. But it'll get better. So many people are wanting to play it. I think they had 160,000 applications for beta access.
Yeah, I only got mine overnight last night.
Yeah, you did? You got invited?
Yeah, Liessy's
I did.
got
I applied for it a few weeks ago, and I only just got it last night. So I'm excited to jump on.
It's a chill little game, but I've not streamed it yet, and I'm kind of holding off a tiny little bit. I'm making
wait till they stabilize a little bit, maybe.
Just a little bit.
There's nothing worse than being on a stream and then because of server issues that are beyond and expected during this time. Because otherwise people will immediately write it off, and that's not fair.
And they're such a small team. I think they're doing amazing. But I tend to play sort of different games. I'm exploring some. I'm looking forward to Starfield. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, really?
I love Bethesda games. So I reached out to Bethesda. There's another hint. Reach out. Don't be be bold.
Absolutely.
If you want something, be bold.
So
that'll be good. That's only next month.
Yes, it is. Very soon.
Gosh, time flies.
I don't know if you know, we had Kim from the Bethesda ANZ team on the other week. She's great to chat to. The Bethesda team is fantastic. If you are interested in Starfield and you do want to create some content, definitely reach out to them because they're fantastic.
They're very kind.
Yeah, they are, and they're very generous as well, which is amazing, for sure. So, okay, so what has been like the biggest jump in technology? Because I can imagine. So you've gone from playing these MS DOS text-driven games,
40+ years.
To now, we have VR, we have cloud gaming, you can take gaming anywhere in the world.
Yes.
How does that feel?
Look, to be honest, when I look at some of the Unreal engines, and I follow quite a few developers, and they will share what they're working on, and I look at it, and I know for a lot of people entering gaming now, that's their norm. But when you look back at the pixelated games we played years ago, and we're so excited to play SimCity, for example, or even early WoW. Now, WoW hasn't really changed its graphics much, and I think that's a comfort thing for a lot of people. I'm more than happy with the graphics. I love that game. But when I look at some of the games that are out now or coming now, and you just think, my goodness, I could never have imagined that they are what they are. They are stunningly beautiful. Stunningly beautiful. And I think we're very spoiled, and I can only imagine what will look like in 10 years. But just the environments, when we talk about the importance of gaming for self-care and for relaxation and entertainment and connection with people, when the worlds that just get more and more beautiful and the imagery is so lifelike, to me, I would never have expected it. Having looked across a life of gaming, and 40+ years is a lot. I'm excited to be playing a game now. I'm excited to be playing games, and I'll play until I drop. just, like my mum's playing in her retirement village. People often make jokes and say, oh, land parties in retirement villages when. I don't think people realise how many people my age especially, but also my mother's age, if they're not, the gamers are getting older. I don't mind saying I'm 61 years old, and I will continue to game. My mother adores gaming. She absolutely adores it. She gets so excited. I see her logging on because it comes up in my little, Steam thing, so-and-so's playing. And I think there she is, and it could be 1 a.m. because of the time difference and she's in Melbourne. I just think, yeah, she's not sleeping tonight. We are lucky. And it's like anything that evolves over time. We think, back in my day. Well, back in my day, it's all relative. Gaming was just as wondrous as it is now. But I'm really glad that I'm still gaming now. It's beautiful. And the work that they do, I can't even imagine what, every now and again I keep saying, Blizzard, they offer, jobs online. I just think, nah, not yet. One day, not yet, it'd be incredible to work on a game. Hard though. Be hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I just touch on something as well, just in regards to like your experience over the years, and especially being, someone who is, older and playing games, how do you deal with, do you get a lot of criticism in regards to ageism with video games, or is it more support than it is hate? Or like, I'm just really intrigued to know from your perspective, like how do you juggle that and balance that?
Look, to be honest, I will attribute a lot of my growth to the fact that I am older, because I represent a demographic that is overlooked. People talk about inclusivity and representation, and that's wonderful, but they forget the age part, and age is part of that. They forget that. Someone reached out to me recently about joining a stream team, and I felt it was such a nice request, because they said people are forgetting age, and I thank them for that. I do get ageism in terms of compliments that people don't realise are not a compliment. They say you look great for your age. That's not the compliment you think.
Just so,
Or they say, isn't it great? Yeah, isn't it great? Look at you playing games. and that's the look I normally give them. And I think if you develop games, how old do you think those developers are? Think about that. You didn't invent this space. Pop back on your gaming chair and shush. And then there's sort of the darker side, ageism, and we did talk about this briefly off air. Ageism plus threats of violence. I've had some people say you shouldn't be taking the space that should be occupied by younger people. I think the worst threat was along those lines, and I know it came from an Australian person saying that they would cause us both in immense physical harm if they ever saw us, because we were taking away an opportunity from a younger person. They were so angry with the world.
It's so extreme.
And it's very extreme. So look, ageism can be a naive attempt to be nice, but they don't realise that they are. I often get people saying, look, you probably don't know how to fix this. Let me tell you what to do.
Oh, no.
Which I'm quite aware of what to do. There's a lot of that. They think you're older, you don't have an understanding, or, or that you're naive in some way. But on the whole, having said all that, the plus side is people welcome someone my age, because they are my age. There's so many people who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s and 60s and beyond who are still gaming, because we started playing video games in the 70s. So how old would we be now? It's like, really? When did you think? I just picked it up last week. So I do try to be kind, and I do try and educate people. That, the person that you're bad-mouthing in game, in trade chat, could be me or your mum or your grandma or your granddad. There's
you just don't know.
A lot of us. But many don't communicate openly for lots of reasons, and that's cool. But because I think I'm public, I get the chance to say, hey, there's a lot of us. Be kind. Cut it out, because I don't like to
speak on behalf of them.
I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, good.
I bet you are. Oh my goodness.
I mean, I have a wholesome brand, but I can get cross.
But you have to stand up for yourself, and you know what? You're in a position where you can speak on your fellow friends and community members in that same age bracket. But do you get stigma from people within your group? So let's say, your mum, for example, she's in the retirement village, she's playing games. Does she get a lot of judgment from other people that live there that don't quite understand it, or who I guess might see that strange?
Oh no, she wouldn't. No,
I'm sure she wouldn't take it, would
no,
she?
No, she's the type of person to tell you. No, she tells them what she thinks if they ever have a go at her gaming.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
because she says, no, you're sitting there watching Netflix, watching some, midnight murder mystery. Don't be coming at me for my choices. And that's the thing too. People say, oh, gaming, there's a stigma about gaming, or why are you gaming at your age, or
which is just the most stupidest argument. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
The stereotypes of
because
gaming.
I want to
know more. People watch, as I say, people choose their choice of entertainment. They choose how they relax. They choose how they interact socially. For some people, being online is how they practice their social skills.
Correct.
Because practicing them outside is incredibly, incredibly scary. And so, however people choose to be online, that's why my community motto is be kind and be you. We don't know anybody else's path. And so if I can be a representation and a champion for people to enjoy how they play, enjoy how they are online, I just ask people to be kind, because we don't know what someone else's experiences are.
Absolutely. And the gaming is their healing time as well. Like,
good point. Really good point. Mm-hmm.
I think the anonymity in gaming spaces can be either really healing, or it can be an opportunity for people to be really cruel. And because of their own internal pain, which is unfortunate. But I'm glad that, by the sounds of it, you found a community that is perfect for you, and they really,
it's a good one. It's a good one. I get a lot of private messages from people who, for example, they may be trans or non-binary, or still exploring their own gender or their own place in life. And they have been excluded from their own families for various reasons. And so they too are trying to heal as they find who they are in the world. And so they will send me messages saying, thank you for giving me a space from an older person who accepts me. And that really, really touches me more than anything else, that someone can find a space to just be who they are. I just want them to be enjoying games, be kind to each other, be kind to my community. And so I have people, I thought when I started streaming that I'd be a beacon for older streamers or older gamers, and that we'd have this little, virtual, almost retirement village online. No, I have my community. I don't know their ages. I can't work out how many people I have in different age groups. And we don't talk about age. I don't mind saying how old I am, but I don't ask them. But I actually don't. I do have some older gamers, and obviously they reach out and say, hey, thanks for being part of the team and representing us. But on the whole, no. I have so many people from different ages. I'm going to guess around sort of the 20 to 40 mark.
Yeah. Which, it shouldn't really matter at the end of the day, right? Like, we're all here with the same interests, the same passions. Like, it does not matter how old you are, but you do need to acknowledge that there are people in this space who are older and who are being left out of things. So it's an awkward balance.
It is. And I think when we swing back to talking about brands, I remember the first time Raise Australia reached out to me, and they sent me some little earbuds. And I took a picture with my grey hair with their earbuds as my little marketing photo on Twitter. And I said, thank you for seeing me. No one really sees us. When you look at the brands, and obviously the market is for younger people. Sometimes there's a particular product they might market for esports, for example. My very first contact from a brand was an esports company saying, can we please have you? And I thought, oh, bless, have you even seen how I play esports? I kept that because I thought it was precious. But, tell me the last time you saw marketing to older gamers.
Yeah.
And there are so many of us, and I tried to get that across. And so when Razor said, of course we see you, and I think, oh, that's wonderful, and Blizzard are the same. And I know I'll talk about them, but, they're wonderful for championing me and my community. So
I've been in the gaming podcasting space for nearly 2 years now, and there are a lot of, and I'm going to say male gamers that are in their 40s and 50s, and they very much are in this space. And you know what? I don't think it ever crossed their mind, their age. Do you feel like that's something you're more aware of? Because not only are you an older presenting female, but because you know what I mean? Like, I feel like men can almost disguise their age a lot better than women can. Is that something you feel?
Oh, look, I know I stand out because of my age, but I think I stand out in a good way. I think
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I agree.
The feedback I get is that it's refreshing to see someone. But
Yes.
For me, I think it's just a case of I'm just representative of a lot of people that are older.
Yeah.
I'm really not a unicorn. There's a lot of people, both genders, all genders, who are older. And I think it's a matter of, I do try and poke brands sometimes and say, hey, I remember when I approached Twitch and did my application, I was quite surprised to get it so quickly, the partnership. When I wrote the application, I said, in a really respectful, kind way, I said, shame on you for not having Twitch partners my age. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And when I approach brands nicely, if I want to work with them, I say, have a little look at me and have a look at the average, and they'll tell me why you're not representing my age group.
Yeah.
Because I think it's way overdue. It's way overdue.
Oh, 100%.
Look, and to be fair, like a lot of I dare say that you have more money than a 20-year-old. Like, you spend
Not
a
a whole
lot
lot
of
more,
money
probably.
on this gaming throughout your
Yes.
no, but like
yes.
throughout your whole life, you've invested
Yes.
so much time, money. You know
Yes.
so much about this. You are valuable. You really are. And it just so happens that you are, and like you are confident enough to be yourself on camera, streaming. That's the
Which is a
only
big
difference.
thing. I could just say that's a big thing for me. Still to this day, I think I can't believe I'm live. But at the same time, I am proud. I'll be honest to say I am proud that I do it. Because honestly, after stream, I'm like, I have no batteries left.
I know.
I would say it's quite inspirational as well, because I'm only new to the streaming scene. I think I've been streaming for about a year and a half, almost, maybe just underneath. And so I have always thought, because it's quite a passionate hobby of mine, like, I wonder when I'll give up the ghost. Like, when will it be Martin dressed as lamb? Is this a young person's hobby and space? And so it's genuinely fantastic to see that you are a representative of the age group, and that there is more older folk that are gaming and still gaming, and that it's not out of the ordinary, and it's not just one in a million. And so it's really cool. It's cool that there's a longevity, not just streaming, but gaming in general, and that it can connect you with your family and with multiple generations. So I will say it's very inspiring of what you're doing as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, no, Ellie's a lovely, fresh-faced member of the community, which is always fantastic to see. And I love to see the growing streamers and the more experienced streamers, most definitely.
And it's good to share. Yeah, and it's good to share. I mean, I've put out a few YouTubes on etiquette, on how to grow and how to use cross platforms, etc. Because I'm trying to, because I do find that sometimes, like, I remember I put out a video on how to fill in your partner application, because there's some things that people don't really talk about. And I think, why? And as Australians, we talk about stuff. We're pretty open about things.
Yeah, we are.
But I found that, for a lot of people in the Twitch community, content creation, they hang on carefully. This is mine over here. And I just think,
there's enough
gatekeeping
for sure.
Yes. There's enough pie for everyone. What is it? The high tide lifts all boats or something? I think the cliche is, but it's true. It doesn't hurt to share info. So when I tried to find out how to fill in a partner application, I couldn't find anything. And I thought, well, fine then. I'll just do my own and I'll share it. So it's good to share.
That's incredible.
It's good to share.
And you know what? And that's another thing. And that's something that, and I think I've spoken about this before when we had Adine on from Team Liquid, women of Team Liquid.
Yes, I watched that. That was so good.
And she was saying that, we were talking about the kind of conversations that might happen in the community because of females and things like that. And it was interesting because we were talking about how some more experienced people in the community really do need to almost take a caretaker, caregiver role to the younger generation, especially understanding that you need to code switch. You really do need to understand that, the way you talk in your private party, playing Call of Duty, like, if you want to take the mickey out of one another, that's fine. But outside of, you must be respectful. So it's really awesome that you're spreading the word. That's fantastic.
I think mentorship is really important. As an example, I got a private message from someone I've known for quite a while, lovely content creator from Canada, and they're trying to reach out to a brand. And because I trust them, they trust me, they reached out and said, do you have any contacts? Now, I don't breach contacts with brands. That's a no-no. That's an etiquette. If someone has reached out to you, you respect that, and you respect their information. But I did have a general knowledge of where I could direct him to get in touch with the brand that is public, so that I wasn't breaking any sort of etiquette with my own contacts, but could get him on a pathway to be noticed by this organization. And I thought to myself afterwards, if more of us did this, respectfully of our own connections, and I keep saying that because I don't like sharing something that is private to a brand and I, but it's not going to hurt you to help mentor someone else. It's not going to hurt you to say, hey, great stream, but you didn't connect. I really, I was talking and you weren't answering me, or just to give some feedback, because new streamers are so excited. New growing streamers really want to build, but sometimes you can see their barriers and their roadblocks. So I'm all about mentorship. I'm a mentor in a few games, but in the gaming space, again, as Aussies, I think we lean a little bit more to being a little bit open, a bit more transparent than some folks. And so some people might find that a little bit sort of surprising, but I think it's a win-win for all of us. It's becoming a little bit more difficult. I do believe that during COVID was a great time to start streaming, and I think that's why I got such a big build and I was able to grow so quickly. But it's still not impossible to grow well now. It's just about growing smartly, I think, and sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So if someone comes along and says, look, this may be useful, it may not, but why don't you try that? I think that's good.
Amazing. You've touched on so many important things about gaming today, and thank you so much for sharing your personal family stories. I know they're probably very precious to you, and
they are.
Honestly, these kinds of conversations are just so amazing. So thank you.
Sorry
so
if
much.
I didn't stay on script. I appreciate it. I haven't had
no,
it's
okay. This is just a general conversation. We love people coming on to talk and just share your experience. It's really just, it's community here, and we just want to let you talk.
For sure. I do want to move into the closing of the conversation, as I do know that both myself and Haughty Chicken do have somewhere to be. And I also, the place I'm at, I actually have to be out on time. So that's in about 8 minutes time. So again, thank you so much for being here, Haughty Chicken.
My pleasure.
Girls, I did want to have a bit of a chat, because when I came out to the studio, I was like, I have to bring all my equipment, and I brought my Wave 3 with me. It traveled so well.
It sounds amazing.
Thank you.
I was just thinking that sounds really good.
Oh, thank you. So I really enjoy the Wave 3. It's really light and perfect for travel. So definitely, if you're on the go, or even if you're first starting, this is actually a really affordable microphone from the Elgato range.
Definitely. I love that it comes with a pop guard as well, because not everything comes with a pop guard.
And the stand.
Yeah.
And the stand, and this all, so the guard can come off. And this can actually untwist from here. And if you want to attach it to an arm, if you're stationary, if you're not, if you want it on a different angle, it's really easy to do that for sure. Ellie, how are you going with all of your Elgato merch?
Oh, amazing. Actually, I was just classic me, always organizing my desk because I'm a messy little gal. But I really like the arm with the wave arm, because it hides the chords. It hides the chords within the mechanics. And my last mic arm, I had to twist it around, and although it looked fine, I was always catching on the chords and things. So the fact that when I was setting it up, I was like, what's this hole for? Blew my mind that I could stick my cord in, and now it's all nice and neat, and so I don't have to bother with that.
Less likely to get damaged as well.
Yeah, exactly. I just have to bother with all my little toys I've got hanging out,
Yeah,
all
exactly.
Lara Croft and all my crochet bits and bobs I've got on my desk. I'm a messy gal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I love how the arms have the integrated cable management. It's really awesome, and it's all magnetic. It's really high quality. It's like it's metal. It's not plastic. It's quite a I think it must be like powder coated, even steel. I think, and I think it's magnetic. Like you can attach magnets to it, so it's not just it's not just the typical run of the mill one, which is really awesome.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we love Elgato. Thank you, Elgato.
Thank you, Elgato, for sponsoring.
Talk to Elgato, it seems. You've got cable management. Hello.
Yes, we all love cable management. That's like, that is the top tier thing that all tech people need is cable management, because that's the messiest thing, and it's a fire hazard. It is a fire hazard.
I was thinking that the other day, because I did a massive restructure, revamp of my space, and
your space looks beautiful. I saw that. Oh my god, it's so pretty. It's so good.
Thank you. And so I definitely the cable management makes it, it's really important, especially when you're rearranging. So but yeah, I think everyone struggles with it. Again, thank you so much for being here, Haughty Chicken.
My pleasure.
Where can everyone find you?
Just search Haughty Chicken
this week.
Pretty much the only one.
Are you going to be streaming this week?
I will be streaming. I'll probably stream this weekend. It was going to be Palia, but I might wait a little bit till that settles a tiny little bit. So it'll probably be World of Warcraft this weekend, because it's the starting of the month. So the trading post is open.
Amazing.
So that's pretty much it.
Incredible.
We will definitely be in the streams.
Yeah, for sure. Liessshy, what are you up to this week?
This week, I actually went back to work in my real life job, so nothing fun, but I am going to be trying out Palia because I did get my closed beta access.
Lovely.
And
amazing.
I will be working on content because I too also did just sign as an Elgato partner myself with my own content.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. Lots of stuff coming. So I'll just be working in the back end this week, I think.
Amazing. And Ellie, what are you up to this coming week?
Oh, good question. Probably I'm almost finished the battle pass on Fortnite, so I'm probably just going to be chipping away at that, because I love a bit of Fortnite, and continue on with the Master's Pupil as well. That's the hand-painted game we discussed last week, which is, speaking of evolution of gaming, absolutely insane that there is a painting in a video game, but chipping through that one as well.
Yeah, no, that game's amazing. It's all hand painted. I know that's like, you hand draw things in games anyway, but this was actually hand painted and then imported into the game. Wow. And some of the details are 2 millimeters wide, so it's very, very.
I need to play this.
Yeah, Sydney's Pat Naeem smashed it. It was really cool.
Fantastic, lovely Australian dev as well. Speaking of Australian devs, I hope to meet some today at Pixel Expo. That's what I'm going to be up to. I don't think I'll be streaming, but look out for my article on well-played.com.au talking all things Pixel Expo. Thanks so much to the chat. You've been awesome. Shout out to our amazing YouTube moderator, Control-Alt-Craft. She's incredible. And we will see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.